Hey, Bill, this is going to be another fun interview. Boy, this is exciting. We get to have a conversation with Lindsay Atkins.
Yeah,
Lindsay
man.
Atkins has been one of the top producers, top performers in our company for a while, and so it's great to just get a moment of her time to kind of talk about what she's gone through.
Yeah, big time, man. It's been quite a journey. So there's going to be a lot of details coming up here. And yeah, Lindsay's pretty amazing. You guys get ready. I would have someplace handy to make notes because I can tell you there are multiple things she's going to be talking about today that will bring you value. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Lindsay Atkins. Well, hey, Lindsay. So good to have you with us today. How are you, friend?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fired up to spend time with you. I mean, everybody knows your name. They may not know you. They may not know that you have, if you haven't been number one, you've been one, two, or three with our company for 14 years. That's a
Yeah,
pretty
long
big
time.
deal. It's a pretty big
Yeah.
deal. Billion-dollar producer, you got bricks with your name on them, you got schools that have been built because of you, and it's a pretty cool place that you live in here at Movement Mortgage. And yet you, for as amazing as all of that is, you run into the same stuff that most loan originators run into. And so as an example, one of the things that often happens, I've been doing this long enough to have heard this story a lot, where somebody comes on and says, wow, my top realtor just retired, died, moved, just married a loan officer, like, and they lose a big chunk of their business, right? So it's something everybody can relate to, but they may not have heard your story exactly. So this has been how long ago now? When did you get the word that your major lead source was making a change?
Yeah, December 1st was the official day. I found out like maybe October of
Okay. And
last year. Yeah.
tell people what you found out,
That movement JV was going to be their in-house lender.
right?
The
So,
first question people ask me is, "Are you so mad at movement?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not mad at
uh,
movement." It's
so
definitely like a touchy subject as far as
no doubt.
but the builder was going to do it anyways. It was definitely from a monetary standpoint. I'm glad that we got that Toby got the business.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is what it is. There was nothing movement could do to
for
change their
sure.
minds. Yeah.
So here's what we know, you guys. Builders like real estate companies, have conversations with each other and they start talking about the fact that, if you put together a JV, you don't have to leave so much money on the table and you could make more money, right? So it's just like if you're inside a Remax office or a Compass office or a Century 21 office, and suddenly they start saying, wow, or Keller Williams, that's probably a better example, right? With
Yeah.
Keller Williams Mortgage, it's all of a sudden you're on the outside, and it's a business decision. It's not a personal decision. But for Lindsay, I want you to hear this, you guys. So percentage of your business that represented.
60 to 70.
So think about that,
I
you
know it
guys.
was really dumb. It was really dumb that I let that happen.
Well, okay. There's nothing dumb about that. There's nothing dumb about that. That
I
was
should have diversified at some point.
all right. Fair.
I equate it to being under an apple tree, and the branches were so heavy with apples, and I was like this, picking apples, like I just was moving my elbow. So I still had to
Yeah.
process, underwrite, service the borrower, actually process the loan twice because most of them were to be built. So as
Yeah.
far as the workload, it was there. I was
Sure.
working hard, but just the ease of getting the business. So
Of
now
course.
I'm like climbing up the tree because the apples are at the top. That would
You are
be the
indeed.
analogy I would give as
So
to where
that's a
I'm at
perfect
right now.
analogy. I love that you said that. That's a perfect analogy. And by the way, you guys, so somebody's listening to this right now, Lindsay, and they're saying, "Uh-oh, I actually feel something very similar." Maybe it wasn't a builder, but maybe it's a realtor, maybe it's a real estate office. And, I would say Todd Duncan used to say, don't have all your eggs in one basket, but if you do, watch the basket.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So the upside of this is here's what I say a lot in coaching, Andy, is, what does this make possible? So something bad happens to us. I just had this conversation with Christina Lane, actually, on a completely different issue. Something bad happens, and it's like, I wouldn't have chosen that. But then what does that make possible? See, there goes a happy dog walking into the background. You see the tail going by in the background. You just see the
Yes,
shadow right
yes.
now.
I love it.
Love happy dogs walking around, man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but it's like, what does this make possible? So Lindsay, I'd love for you to answer just a little bit in terms of what you and I have been. So full disclosure, Lindsay and I are working together now in a coaching relationship,
Yeah.
and it's a real honor for me. Like I love coming alongside you. This is such a cool. I know it's painful. I don't mean to diminish it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's such a cool season because it gives me an opportunity to reach back into 30 years of experience and try and bring you what I've got. But what are you focused on right now as a result of that happen? Help people understand like, so where's your head? Where's your daily activities? What are you doing right now?
Bill, I've coached with a lot of people over the years, and I always felt like coaching was not for me. I mean, just keeping it real,
Mm,
because it would take so long. It's like therapy. I'm like, oh, gotta go to therapy. It'll take 3 sessions for them to even know like the first chapters of my life, right?
you bet.
But with you, you are good. I come into it. I'm like, okay, I'll do this. But I have to say, I'm impressed. I am impressed from a skeptic. From a
I
skeptic,
appreciate it.
you are
I
good.
appreciate it.
You
Well,
can riff like no other with the
you're
the
very
ideas you
gracious.
have off the top of your head. It's very good. So everyone watching should always tune into your coaching calls because you are on it.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So to answer your question as far as like my head, so when it first happened, I felt a little sad.
No doubt.
My husband was like, "Oh, who cares? You're fine." He's like everybody else who knows me at Movement Mortgage, which are the people that don't necessarily matter in all of this as far as you're not sending me alone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the people who don't know me, that I'm focused on now. So at first I was like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" Then I was like, "Oh, I can quit Movement Mortgage. I am a free agent. I'm going to see what's out there." So I spent months looking at other mortgage companies,
Yep,
because I just didn't want to sell myself short. I wanted to
for
come at this
sure.
from, a real professional standpoint, non-emotional. After the first like 2 days, I was like ready to fight. Like I was 24 years old and just started in the business. And I was so thankful that I felt like that and, didn't feel like lazy. I say I'm not fighting on my heels. I'm fighting on my toes. I was like
Yeah,
ready
man.
to fight, because they were going to do the JV. Then they came back and said they weren't going to do the JV. And I was almost like a little disappointed, like, oh, I don't have that challenge that I have to
Exactly.
prove myself again because I've talked all these talks and I've gone on these podcasts and I've, talked about, oh, this is how you get business. And now I'm actually having to like put my money where my mouth is.
Right.
So, which is like an insane thought of being in this business for almost 20 years and then having to really retool. And then the reality is like leaving movement. I don't have the pressure of like being in the top one or two
You
people
bet.
in the company because I am extremely competitive, even though I try not to be at this
Understood.
stage. I want other things to matter besides my job, but it's very
For sure.
important to me. I enjoy it. So, I'm like, okay, identity, what am I going to do? And so I'm like, I'm going to be realtor focused. So the first thing I did is I Google like how many existing homes are listed for sale versus new construction because every realtor I work with has been doing a lot of new
You bet.
construction business. So I really am starting from scratch. I do some, past client business, obviously, and then some realtors that sell primarily existing homes. But obviously, the majority of the business was new and dealt with
Sure.
realtors that deal in the new construction world.
You bet.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to retool. So Lyra told me about Allie Lord's market in
Yep.
the Pacific Northwest, and
Yep.
they're primarily, existing homes and like luxury type realtors as well, which is what I would love to like you told me, let's be picky about who you choose to work with
Exactly.
versus me, I'm like the catch-all. I'm
Bring
like,
them
I'll
all.
take anything. So I had a call with her and she was telling me about a loan officer, Jolene, who basically didn't like the realtor she was working with. So in the course of a year, she fired every realtor she said that she worked with and got all new ones, which is still such an impressive thought to me,
Right.
only because the fear of rejection and the fear of failure is something that we all deal with every day, whether it's an interest rate shopper. I will think of every deal I've lost 10 times more than I think of the deals that I
Oh, of
win.
course.
It's such a
Leaves a
mind
mark.
F.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
is, man.
sucks.
It is.
Sucks. And so now I'm getting used to the idea of like, not everyone is going to like me. I'm going to be rejected. Like you said, I have to do this without the fear of the outcome. And so,
Absolutely.
being extremely vulnerable with myself, and with you, and with everybody who's listening, we're all the same. I just happen to have a great process where I can do a lot of loans, but we're
Yep.
all the same in our approach at trying to get new business. So, with that being said, I
Yeah.
did branding. So I did branding where I've rebranded Lindsay Atkins, LA, and then I have this like spin-off where relax, because the LA in relax. So now I'm relax. I've got you. I'm your
So good.
precision lender. I never did social media. I was on it. I just didn't post. And so now I'm doing social media. I've hired a company that's helping me with that, and I really
You're
like it.
killing it on social media. Forgive me for interrupting here, but
Oh, you're
you
fine.
guys have to follow Lindsay
Yeah.
on Instagram and Facebook. Any place else they should be looking? Those
Yeah,
two are the
that's
main
it.
ones.
That's it.
Okay.
Instagram is like the
And
one. Yeah.
I want you to see that Lindsay has apparently figured out she could have been an actress if she didn't want to do this, because she is doing videos that are hysterical.
I really like it.
They're awesome and they grab attention, right? I mean, the one
It's
yesterday
fun.
of you lying on the floor, like,
Oh, yeah.
come on, girl. It's the creativity and the execution is fantastic. So
Thank
well
you.
done. You're
I
welcome.
really enjoy the social media. It's hysterical. At first, I like couldn't even watch the videos. I'm like, oh my God, what is this going to be like? But it's fine.
You're great
Hand
at it.
gestures. You have to do the hand. I'm be like pointing a lot. Anyways, so the social media I think is great. A win that I got off of that is I have these realtors that I've worked with throughout the years. So when you're committed to your job, you do a good job, you're available, all these basic foundational principles that we should all be doing, answering the phone, not ghosting people, then you can easily talk to people that you've done business with because they
You
know.
bet.
I mean, those are like the low-hanging fruit again.
For sure.
But so this guy, Tyler, did some deals, looked at my cell phone. Last deal was 2023. I followed him, go in there, like his videos. Next thing you know, I've got a girl calling me up. Tyler referred me. I'm like,
So cool. So
it was
cool.
so great, so great. So that was 100% because of the social media videos.
Right?
I got a call last week. A realtor said, oh, I've got this friend, Airbnb, DSCR. So I watched the videos that were sent within Movement where they do like these spotlight products. So I
Yep.
just watched the one about where we have this like automated valuation tool on Airbnb, DSCR, because it's higher rent, which is so cool. So I was able to speak on that. And I'm like, oh, where
I
did,
have to interrupt you. I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
You guys, I don't know if you caught what Lindsay just said. And I want you to think about this. This is a woman at the top of the production house, and she's prioritizing time to go in and learn about a DSCR loan and how she can help her clients. And she did an at least one so far, extra transaction as a result of that. So if that sort of busts your chops a little bit, like right now, if you're feeling like, yeah, I probably don't do that as often as I should, like you should step it up. Lindsay does. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but I just want to, every once in a while I pull out little 3x5 cards on in people's minds and I stick a pin on the cork board. Like, don't miss this lesson because that's a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that you have this short 5-10 minute window when a realtor calls you about anything to sound like you know what you're talking about, and they'll remember you that way.
For sure.
So I listen up on these non-QM because I feel like that is like the future
You
where
bet.
my job may be safe because of AI can do
For
it.
sure.
Conventional refi probably pretty easy.
You bet.
Anyways, so the realtor calls me up. I said, "Oh, DSCR, Airbnb, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Where did you get my contact information?" She's like, "I follow you on Instagram."
Come on.
And I
Come
said,
on.
"Oh my God, I love you." So then The social media, I really enjoy it. My team likes it because they're in the videos. So I think that's even
And they're
cool.
great too. It's brilliant. No, it's brilliant.
It's so fun. So the one is pregnant. She's about to have the baby. I'm like, I know you're taking 3 months off, but you're going to have to still do the video shoots. We'll incorporate the kid. You know what
I
I
love
mean?
it. Totally.
I'm like, we can't
Totally.
have no one there. So I think that social media also is a validator. I don't, I have realtors though that get majority of their leads from social media, so I think it can be that, and is a lot for some people that I've heard about, like
Sure.
some lady who does all VA, she retooled herself, and it's all social media.
Yeah.
Her leads
Yeah.
are,
It's
but it's
real
like a validator as well. So if someone
for
looks
sure.
you up, they see you, and then it validates them.
Right.
So I
So on
think
the
the
validator side, let me just
yeah,
hop in
yeah,
here real quick.
yeah,
Yeah, I just brought it up. I wanted to look at that booklet that you put together, the relax booklet. So I would love for people to
yeah,
hear a little bit about this because one of the things that's very impressive in here is one of the very first things I told you is that you have a differentiator that nobody else has. And your differentiator is 19 years in the business, $1.8 billion in volume, very close to 2 billion, 7,000 homes, 7,000, you guys, and, licensed in North and South Carolina. So the fact that you flex a little bit there is way cool. And because you're selling this idea of relax, I got you. And
yeah.
if you're new and you're listening to this, you don't have that luxury. You got to find another USP and another unique selling proposition. But for Lindsay, this is a place for her to double down because now not all loan officers are created equal. So, yeah, sorry, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because you had just referenced it. Do you mind if we transition to the
Yeah.
campaign? Because one of the things I think, Lindsay, for you that was interesting is when that tree was not dropping apples anymore, all of a sudden, you we started to have a
We're
conversation
hungry.
around, right? So painful. Oh my goodness. But you start looking around at, okay, so where else am I going to get my business? And you looked at other companies. What if I stepped into another company, did something different? You ultimately settled here and said, okay, this is home. I'm going to make this work. Here's how we're going to go about this. So instead of saying I've got 175 realtors that I could focus on, you narrowed it down to a smaller number. You focused on people that you already knew that you had done business with. And then I had nothing to do with this, girl. This was all your deal where you thought, I'm going to put together a campaign so that they're going to have a hard time forgetting me. Do you mind talking about that a little bit and reference
Yeah.
this book that I just mentioned?
Yeah, so I didn't think of anything. I've really used the resources here, and that's why I stayed at Movement. I'm like, why am I trying to go somewhere else where I've got to re-figure out and prove myself,
Totally.
versus here, the relationships we have are so important in ops. I'm like, I can't be worried about underwriting and processing. I have that dialed in here. You know what I mean?
For
I know what
sure.
I can get done. I know who to call to ask questions. I just can't imagine,
Relationships. Yep.
yeah, like the change of that. So I'm like, okay, I'm staying here. So Allie on her call, Allie Lord, the regional out there or divisional, I don't know. Anyways,
Regional.
she
Yep.
regional. She's great, so helpful. Everybody here wants to tell you everything they do. And she was like, do the campaign first thing, 40 to 50 realtors that you don't work with. And then you mail them things every week for like
Mm.
3 or 4 weeks. So I got this booklet that I did like using ChatGPT. I paid for the business side of it. It actually created the artwork. Copilot won't create the artwork, but they'll tell you what prompts to put in Canva. So I
So here's the
made
cover.
Yeah, I made this little booklet. It's just like where you fold it. It's 8 pages. It's stapled in the middle. And then just like introducing myself, results that mean more, what Bill just said, where I'm from, rooted in the Carolinas. I wanted to focus on that because that's just where I'm licensed. Then how I protect the deal, things about me, how I work, fast, full documents. Then this Relax I Got You acronym, so RELAX. Um, how I'm built for top producing agents, the call to action, let's meet, and then the last page. So it's all my colors, all my branding. So if they look at my social media, it's all the same. So everything is like my branding,
It
which
is
I
so
really
good.
love. Yeah.
It is so good. Yeah, and by the way, you guys, I'm just learning now. By the time you listen to this, maybe this has all been communicated, but we have the ability at Movement to now inside Copilot. Andy, I don't know if you even know this. I only found this out today. Access Claude and Chat GPT internally. And maybe
Oh,
you can
wow.
describe it better, Andy, than I can. But what that means is, you guys, legal initially told us don't be using any of those outside resources because all that data is shared and some of our stuff is proprietary. So Copilot is safe because it's inside the Microsoft ecosystem. But apparently, both Claude and ChatGPT have figured out a way to make the technology available, the machine available, but without that leakage, if you will. Andy, is there anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that nailed it, and it's actually you have to access it through chat, or not through chat, but through Copilot. If you access
The
it through
online
Copilot,
version, right? You have
that's
to
right.
log in through
Yeah,
Microsoft 365 or Outlook 365. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have to get some details on it for everybody so they know exactly how to do
yeah,
it. But yeah,
yeah.
That's
So sorry,
cool.
sorry, Lindsay, for the little rabbit trail there, but
Oh, that's
you were
great.
the
I
one
didn't
that
know that
said,
either.
"How about that? Like new stuff, right?" I
Cool.
mean, goodness gracious, with AI, it's developing so quickly. But you guys,
Yeah.
listen to this. This is a woman who sat on top of our production mountain for so long, and she's like, "Okay, I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm not a victim. I'm going to go make this happen. I'm going to figure out a new way to go after people." She reached out to other people and found out what they were doing, modeled that, is stepping into the uncomfortable, and the process is beginning, right? Aren't you just getting ready to start this campaign now?
Yeah, so back to this little timeline that we've kind of been on, right? So I find out like October, it happens December 1st. And I'm like, I've gone through somewhat of an identity crisis, maybe in a sense of how am I busy? But I know I'm not doing the things that I want to do. Because if you
Mm,
think about it, it's April 23rd. My books just went to print. You know what I'm saying? So it's
yeah,
not like I've really been doing the things I need to be doing every single day. I mean, just keeping it real and the humanity of us all. So like, am I getting calls? Am I getting emails? Yes. And so I'm like going crazy. I'm telling my husband at night, like, I don't know how I'm busy. What am I busy doing? Like, what the heck is
exactly.
going on? And I heard the best quote. I listen to Diary of a CEO. I'm like always sending out the podcast. I love Diary of a CEO. It encompasses like everything: health, wellness, AI, tech, religion. I mean, it's cool. I love this guy.
Awesome.
And so there was this thing I saw on his Instagram where he said that he heard this quote from someone that was on his podcast that um, a cat who wants to be a lion has to stop eating the mice.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh my God. And it gives me goosebumps to even
That's
think about it
awesome.
right now. And it wasn't just like that, but I saved it in my photos. But it was basically like the dopamine dump we get from these small tasks, like
Yep.
answering the phone, emailing, getting a refi here or there. I know in my business sense that isn't me becoming a
For
lion.
sure.
I'll be a fat and happy cat.
Right.
And
So
maybe
good.
maybe not with the biz. Anyways, so basically I know the tasks I need to be doing are talking to realtors that don't know me. And that is the hardest part because I've gone from being not having to sell myself, just showing
Totally.
up and doing the work of other people that have sold me. Like everyone said, she's so great, she's wonderful. And then I could be great and wonderful. And I never had to
For
sell
sure.
myself and be in an uncomfortable situation where I couldn't be rejected.
You
And so
bet.
now here I am. And it's like, this is the other way I describe it. It's like I'm calling on realtors that are really good,
Mm.
that already have a loan officer, because really
Yep.
good realtors already have good loan officers.
You bet.
So now that I've gotten my branding down, when they look me up on social media, it looks great. I love that. Then I can tag them and do things like that. And so now we're moving to the next phase with Bill's coaching, which is do an event that doesn't have anything to do with me talking about loans,
Well,
which is
let's
like,
talk about that. What
yeah,
would that be?
a relax hour.
Come on. Come on.
I know I'm so excited about it.
Tell me about it. What are we
So
doing?
instead of a happy hour, it's a relax hour. So I'm just so happened in my last coaching session with Bill to say something about my husband doing some AI things for my sister's new business that just started. I wasn't even talking about this. And I love giving credit to everybody else because y'all make me look so good. And he says, "Oh, your sister's like naturopathic? Yeah, she just got her license to be a naturopath. And so she does these things like red light therapy and then hand and scalp massages and detoxes and all this stuff." He's like, "Oh, what do you think about going to the real estate offices, like the teams, 15, 20 people, and doing like a relax hour where you do things that have to do with beauty and wellness and you don't even, and bring your sister." And then my sister gets the exposure, which is like makes me cry. And then, we
Double
don't
win.
talk about real estate. So I have my relaxed bag. We wear my relaxed sweatsuits, and then we do these like foot detoxes. And I've got the whole thing of what we're gonna
I
do.
love it.
I just haven't figured out how we're gonna empty the water. I've got to get a place that's a sink in the room. That's my big thing I'm on to now, which, maybe you can help me with that. But anyways,
Understood.
and then send my booklets home in the bag. So then they get the booklet and then they're looking me up. And then, I have like follow up things, give a giveaway. My sister will do this hand and the scalp massages.
Totally.
But, and then we're going to have a mocktail table because I'm trying to think of things that can keep people busy. So different mocktails, which I love that. I'm totally into that.
Brilliant. Good play.
And then maybe like a family feud, like quizzing about health and wellness, because that everybody loves a little family feud kind of competition.
So
So
you
that's that.
guys, think about this. Andy, you know this because you hear it all the time from your clients as well. It's so easy for people to just fall to the familiar and the things that they hear about, like, oh, I should do a lunch and learn, and I should do a lunch and learn. And that, for me, that's code for I'm like everybody else. So, in my opinion, stop talking about lunch and learns. Call it something else. Call it something different.
Oh, something else.
Lindsay's got a relax hour instead of a happy hour, for goodness sakes. Think about this, you guys. 60 to 65% of all the realtors in America are women. I'm not saying this is going to be exclusively women. Guys are going to want to get a
Yeah, they'll come.
facial
They'll come.
too and get their nails done or whatever, right? But this is a good fit. This is a good fit for Lindsay. Plus, remember, she's focused on a more luxury oriented market. So just picture the realtors that are in that real estate office that serve that market. They drive the right car, they carry the right purse, they wear the right outfits, like they're kind of into maintenance, right? And health. And anyway, look, this could be an abysmal failure, but I doubt it. I just love the idea that you're ideating around something unique and different and something you never would have done a year ago, ever.
And I can repeat it. Like it's like we're gonna
Totally.
get good at them, and then I can repeat that, and no one will ever not want to do it. Like it's
Right?
just so. Oh, and here's my latest thing I thought of. So I have these certain skincare. I'm really into all these different skincare products. We're gonna have like a spin the wheel because that'll take time. Everybody comes up, spins the wheel, and so it'll get Lindsay's favorite product,
Oh, I
and then
love
I'll
that.
have like these fancy. So then when they go home and they look them up and that costs a lot of money, they'll be like, "Oh,
Come
okay."
on. Come on. Right?
Because
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but the people they like that.
They do like that.
They like
They
it.
do like that. So this relaxed branding, you guys are going to hear some live coaching right now. This relaxed branding lends itself to so many cool possibilities. Lindsay, I've never
Oh,
told you this. Do you remember about 3, 4 years ago when money was good at President's Club, we got the Air Max headphones
yeah.
right at President's Club? Yeah. So I use those every day for a 20-minute nap. Like, full
Ooh.
disclosure, sometime between 12 and 1 o'clock, I do that every single day for 20 minutes. And I turn on an app called White Noise. The app is called White Noise,
Yeah.
but it's not just white noise. It's
Okay.
crashing waves. It's all kinds of ethereal kind of things to put you to sleep. You could provide that app or send a link to one that you like that you just take, you calm out with. If you do this, if you don't, you could say, my coach does this, thought you might like it. How about, I don't know, green tea? Andy, you're a fan of green tea. Sell people on not to even green tea. Sell people on tea real quick instead of coffee.
Yeah, I mean the biggest key with tea is tea actually has an enzyme in it or a component of it that allows for deeper focus, more so than coffee would. Coffee has a little bit more acidity, tea's not. So for what you're working with and on the program that you're working on, it's a perfect relaxation. You may even think about like a chamomile tea or an herbal tea or something like that that'll just kind of help bring everybody in. If you did a green tea, I'd say put a little jasmine green tea in there, gives a little bit of a
Look
fancier
at
green tea
this.
flavor.
Look at this. So the point
Yeah,
is, she's
awesome
got a
green tea.
complete theme that
Yeah.
lends itself to all kinds of different touches, not just that day, but Lindsay, this is something you send out to them a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later.
Ooh,
You know what I mean? You
ooh,
create a
yeah,
campaign
yeah.
around this. Anyway, look,
White
you guys,
noise app.
right?
Got it.
Come on.
Yeah.
So see,
Yeah, I
and you see
love
what
it.
she's doing right now? This is what great coaching clients do is they start making notes and anything that's actually 2 minutes or less, they just do. So if I tell Lindsay about a book, and Andy, you've had this experience with some of your clients too, instead of them writing that on a to-do list, they just go to Amazon and order it. Like 2 minutes or less, done. I'm going to have that book tomorrow. You see, Lindsay is in execution mode right now. So Lindsay, look, man, this is the Japanese call this opening the kimono, right? Getting completely clear and honest about the real world.
Yeah.
And this has been a ride for you. But here's what I'd like to ask you, because I've never asked you this. As you look out into the future, what do you see based on what you're doing a year from now? What does your business look like? What's your comfort level with your business? What are some things you no longer want to do? A year out, what do you see?
Funny you bring that up. I feel like now I'm like in a daily kind of fight,
You are.
to reinvent myself and or I wouldn't even say to reinvent myself. It's to share my skills that I know are so good with
That's it.
other people who need me. I know there are these people out here that I can make their lives easier with the way I do loans and
Perfect.
a year from now, well, I hope to have, I think about where I'm at in that do I feel undervalued by my builder partner? The builder representatives that I worked with, absolutely not. They're
Yeah.
my partners. I
Yeah.
feel like realtors are like that. They can be my true partners where we're a partnership where I provide value and they provide value. I'm not just
For sure.
asking for deals. I'm helping them get more deals by the way I do business. And so I hope that I have 20 strong relationships where anytime anyone says anything about a loan, they think of me and they tell
You bet
their
it.
family and friends and other realtors about me.
You
20
bet.
good, strong
I love
relationships.
that. I love
I
that.
would love that. I would
Well,
love
look,
that. Hmm.
I didn't tell you I was going to ask you that, so I threw you a little bit.
No,
But
you didn't.
what I wanted people to hear there, so thank you. I just made a note of that as your coach, by the way. I should hang on to that.
Hmm.
Um, but one of the things that hit me as you were talking is you said, I'm going to paraphrase it poorly, but basically you said, I have a responsibility. I have the ability to help people. You guys, think about the difference between that and I'm hungry. I need to feed my family. Therefore, I need to go get a realtor relationship. I'm going to call them up and see if I can buy them lunch. Do you see the difference? The difference is striking to me. Andy, I know you see the same thing, but when you have a spirit of, I want to be able to help people and I can help them put transactions together as a true partner, everything changes for you. You're no longer competing, you're changing the game. There was a book written years ago called Blue Ocean Strategy, and the premise was that a red ocean is red with the blood of competition. A blue ocean is blue because it's a completely uncharted area. You're stepping into something that nobody else is doing. And Lindsay, that's what you're doing. So as you're listening to this, you guys, I know you haven't been the top producer at our company for the past 14 years. I know that you didn't lose 60% of your volume plus from a builder account. But you know what? There are lessons here that apply to you. And for you to be able to take some of what Lindsay's saying and say, how can I be challenged to look at how I bring value to my realtor partners or whomever, wealth advisors, whoever it is that you're going to be approaching? How do I partner with people rather than just compete? Don't compete, change the game. That's what Lindsay's doing, right?
My
So
biggest advice is if I could make myself do something more is just dive into it without thinking about it.
yeah, I love that.
Like just dive into it and don't think. I am a thinker big time. And so, luckily I have great people around me who try and hold me accountable, but at the end of the day, it's me. And so I would say, I wish I were faster in this change, but I'm going to give myself grace and, it
Totally.
is what it is. But
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Look, you're doing all the right things right now, and it's a wonderful test case. So I view it as a test case as a coach. Like, this is awesome to have. I
yeah,
hate what
yeah. It's a
happened to you.
test
I
case,
hate
that's for
what happened
sure.
to you. But from a
Yeah.
coach's perspective, it's like, okay. I mean, there was a show 40 years ago on TV called The $6 Million Man, and in the setup they would say, "We can rebuild him." And I feel like that's what's happening with Lindsay. Like,
Yeah,
we can rebuild her.
yeah,
let's
we can.
let's do, and here's the upside, you guys. Think about this. Her diversified lead sources will never leave her in that place again. Where if somebody decides that they want to do something different, it's like, well, you represent 8% of my business. I don't love it, but it's 8% or
Yeah,
5% of my business or 10. You're
yeah,
building something that is much more market proof. And
yeah.
Lindsay, I got to tell you, I love your heart. I love your guts. I think badassery is a word. And if it's not, I'm going to coin it because you are an absolute badass. The way that you approach your
Okay.
business and life is way cool. It's way cool.
Thank you.
So you're so welcome. Hey, we cannot thank you enough for being with us today. Andy, any closing thoughts? Anything that occurs to you here as you're listening to Lindsay?
Man, I just think ditto, right? I love I love the way that you phrase that because badassery is the first word that comes to mind for me too. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome when you can find a challenge, a tragedy, and rise from it, but rise from it quickly, right? And not let it hold you down, but move forward in such excellence and grace and finding that new opportunity. So
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's inspiring to listen to and to hear. And so thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, it
Thanks
is
for having
inspiring, Lindsay. Let me tell you, friend, you have helped somebody today. Somebody's going to listen to this, somebody's going to watch this, somebody's going to listen to this 2 or 3 times, and they're going to be inspired
Great.
by it. And I guarantee you, they're going to dig down deeper because of what they heard that you've been through. And I can tell you, I am fired up about being on this journey with you right now. It's an exciting season for me. So let's create something really special so that you can look back on this and say, not only do I have those 20 strong relationships with realtors, but I've actually built a business that is market proof and it feels so good. And by the way, that becomes a very valuable asset at some point in the future, which is a whole nother conversation that we'll have at some point.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Uh,
Retooling in your mid 40s. That's what it's all about today.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Lindsay, you're awesome. Thanks for making the time. I know you had other stuff you could have been doing today, so we appreciate you so much. Thank you for this.
Appreciate you guys too. Thank you too.
You bet. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Boy, Bill, how cool was that? I mean, what an awesome conversation. I mean, just transparency that was on there, talking about where she'd been, what she'd gone through, the challenges she has, the way that her mindset is, the way that she just demonstrates humility in
Yeah.
her actions and in what she's doing.
Yeah, that's what struck me too. Her humility really is beautiful. I didn't know Lindsay well before I came alongside her as her coach, and now that I really learn who she is, I can see this is an incredibly competitive woman, but she's also resilient. To take that kind of a hit, to lose 60 to 70% of your business overnight, whatever causes it, is enormous. And yet she has stepped into her history, her track record, her ability to help people put transactions together, but she still is learning every single day. I loved her comment about the DSCR loans, learning, how to use this to help put deals together. She is convinced that she is the best person to help people. And man, I want to encourage everybody. You don't have to have Lindsay's story or pedigree to be able to tell that, but dig down deep and look for what it is that you bring to partners so that you can truly partner, no longer competing, but changing the game on your terms.
Yeah, I think to that point, right? We all have moments, all have seasons, all have things that kind of hold us down, and we've got to reinvent ourselves. Boy, she's a great example of doing exactly that.
Yeah, man. So good. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Andy, every time, what do you tell them? There's a couple things they should probably do now.
Absolutely. Do not forget to follow us. Do not forget to like us and be a part of this journey that we're all on together.
Yeah, man. Well, we love doing these, you guys. We hope they're bringing value to you, and we look forward to seeing you next time.